can I just say this episode was especially heinous?
Oh, I'm intrigued to find
Wait,
out
do you not get
why.
that reference?
No. Oh,
Dun
no.
dun.
You committed to 10 episodes with me, no matter what.
I'm Nicole Mackey.
I'm ZJ Hadley. You're listening to a recap podcast drowning in nostalgia.
Welcome to Baywatchers.
Even though I was rushed to get here, I was Googling frantically during the commercial breaks. So I've still got lots to talk about. And what I was doing was I looked at like Baywatch trivia. Like I Googled like Baywatch 1989 trivia to see if it would bring up anything just interesting from this year.
Yeah.
And it didn't really. The IMDb trivia was really, it's not very good. But what was interesting was sometimes the Google results, like what it's suggesting.
Oh,
And
like as you're typing it in, like
Yeah.
it finishes the sentence for you, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's like you're
Or-
like, I didn't think of that, but I want to know.
Or it has like the other questions, underneath.
Okay,
Same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And one of them was who's the girl on Baywatch with the unibrow?
Yeah. The main lady.
And I was like, fascinating. And I was like, well, and then the commercial break like ended and I got back into it. But immediately what I saw was Shawnee's unibrow that I had never noticed.
Yeah. She's prominently featured in this episode. So like, and also she's a hot babe. And also I looked her up because she is so prominently featured.
Okay,
I was like, I need to know about this woman.
Okay.
She still looks amazing.
Yes. Okay. So that's what I was working up to was, so she was a Playboy playmate. She was also the kid. Yeah. She was also a kid, in E.T. She was the kid that like,
not
the
Drew
boy
Barrymore.
who has no, she wasn't Drew Barrymore in E.T.
Okay, cool.
No,
Just
she's
checking.
the kid in the classmate that like the boy has to kiss or kisses.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
me
couldn't
either.
tell you that. Okay.
Anyway, but that's how she got her start when she was 12. And at one point, she was engaged to Eddie.
IRL.
Yeah, in real life, like while this was all happening. And so they leave the series after a couple of years. And they're a couple at that time. And they thought they were going to get real famous in the movies and stuff. But then that's around when Baywatch actually blew up. And so they were engaged. And so I went on this whole rabbit hole. But then I was like, oh, what's she up to now? And I looked up this photo of her, which you may have already seen. But I don't follow a lot of celebrity news. That may already be apparent. But so I'm not accustomed to the way they write it. But all the articles were like, unrecognizable. And I think she lives in Calgary, but it was like, after rare sighting of her, she's unrecognizable. And then I was like, she just has tattoos. She actually looks great.
She looks like an older version of her actual real face. Like, I think she's very recognizable.
Very much. Yeah.
That's insane.
She just got arm tattoos.
What is her name?
Her name is Erika Eleniak, Elenik.
Okay, cool.
And so that was my big reveal, was just that she looks great. And it also brought me back to the sunscreen conversation that we had on a previous episode, because her skin looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I guess they were
walking advertisement for
sunscreen,
wearing sunscreen, and she must have done it. Or she was like super, super young in this, but her skin looks good on the show. She doesn't look too burnt or tanned or anything.
Yeah. And and Billy Warlock, so that's Eddie.
Right.
He is currently, or at least in 2023, was a ski school instructor for kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he was always a water person.
I think it's snow ski, but I guess you still have a point.
Oh, ski school?
Yeah, but I mean,
I grew up on a lake, so I defaulted to water, yeah.
Lakes sometimes get snow too.
Ours did, yeah, but there was a ski school like that a bunch of my friends worked at, so that was immediately where I went.
It's possible that I'm wrong, and I just assumed the ski school instructor.
No, I think you're probably right. I think that's normal. No, I'm so glad that you brought her up, because I really was fixated on her this whole time. I mean, she is like she's part of the main.
Yeah.
Or she has like a good role in this episode. And, we've talked about it, how like women are supposed to be like strong and prominent in the show, and there's two. Sometimes more. And like they're generally just supporting. But it felt like in this one, we got to see a lot more lady parts.
You cut it close a couple of times for sure.
Yeah. Not their parts, but their roles.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um,
She said in one of the interviews that I read, she said that she left, because it got too risque,
yeah, I
but
could see that.
she was a Playboy playmate.
Was, though.
Isn't
I
that
feel like
kind
a
of
lot of
risque?
she probably did she do that before or after Baywatch? Because I feel like if
Mm.
she did it before, it would become a problem on Baywatch because she would wanna be, like, legitimizing her career for Hollywood, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could see why there would be a tension with that. It's like, you left that behind. You're an actor
Um,
now.
yeah. Well, it seems like a lot of people had concerns that they were gonna get trapped on Baywatch and just be seen as the interview from Billy Warlock said that he didn't wanna be known as Baywatch Billy and get, like, stuck in Baywatch. And just the idea, okay, I don't work in show business, but
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of people who do, I hang out with people who do, and, like, the idea that you would be on a successful TV show that's syndicated and then just, like, leave because you don't wanna get too TV-y is, I think, not a current sentiment, right?
I don't think you'll get this reference, but it's like the Brian Dunkelman effect, who was one of the judges on the first season of American Idol, and he left. He was like, I don't know, the show's fine, but whatever." Left, has no career. Whereas Ryan Seacrest is a household name internationally.
Yeah.
You don't wanna do that. You don't wanna be the one who leaves after the first season and this shit blows up. But people do it all the time for who knows why. Pride?
She it says she was Playboy Playmate of the Month in July 1989, and this show came out in September. So she was the playmate between when the movie came out and the show started,
Wait, which came out in September?
the TV show. Remember there was a
The
5-month
second
gap.
part?
Like,
You
remember
know
the
why? You know
what?
why? She probably did the pilot. It didn't get picked up. They're like, "We don't know what's gonna go on with this." She goes, "Well, Playboy's offering me this thing. I guess I'll do it." And
But
then they
wouldn't
go,
you anyway? Wasn't that prestigious?
"Yeah, but I think at the time, like, people weren't as cool." Like, now I think you can have a mainstream career, and that was, like, the beginning of it, I suppose. But, like, think of how much shit even Pamela Anderson got.
Yeah.
Like, people didn't treat her seriously for so long. So, it's like, I feel like there was a real big kind of, like, chasm in between where it's like you can do Playboy and that's, like, one side, or you could be, like, a legitimate Hollywood person, and now, like, that doesn't really exist
Are
in
you
today.
sure?
No, it does, but it's not as bad, I feel like.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
No,
I'm
say
worried
what
about
say.
well, I'm worried
What
about making these sweeping generalizations because what I see now is that, like, you could be an incredibly talented actress who's really good at drama and all sorts of compelling acting skills, and they will
Yeah.
still expect you to take your clothes off on the front of a magazine every single time.
Will expect you to?
Yeah, like, I'm not seeing a lot of famous actresses posing in suits.
Yeah, but it's like, if it's on, Vogue or Vanity Fair, that's different than if it's on Playboy or, like, Hustler.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't understand what the I feel like Playboy is so mainstream that I don't know what place it holds in entertainment. Like, was it considered seedy and lowbrow?
Yeah, and I think now it's more mainstream because of, like, the early 2000s and, what was that show, that reality show, like, House Bunnies or whatever?
Oh,
You know what I
I don't
mean?
know.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, it came, I don't know if that's the right, Girl Next Door or something. Um, I feel like that, like, made it more of a, like, mainstream type thing, and it was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay, I like this," and everybody, they licensed all their merch, and people were wearing, like, Playboy
Yes.
Bunny
Yes,
t-shirts and stuff.
that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that was, like, 10, 20 years after.
Okay, so you don't think that this was, like, because the way that it talks about it in her portfolio is just, like, boasting about it, like, she was so hot, she was a Playboy
Yeah.
playmate.
mean, you would now, but I feel like at the time, she would doing that could have ruined her TV career.
Oh, was it nude or did those tip things? I'm picturing bathing suit or lingerie.
I feel like
Let's look it up.
Oh yeah, Playboy was nude, titties, and
okay. I feel like I didn't have that
front
context.
parts, but like not in. Like I think like no spreads. Where like Hustler, there was like literal, I think like upper like in the flaps. Between the pages, if you will. I think that was like the difference between Hustler and Playboy.
Oh, I am seeing photos of her lady parts, to use your words.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of them.
In Playboy?
Just on the internet.
But where are they from? What's the source material?
Okay, can't say it. It's Babepedia.
No, but that's where it is now. But does it like
free
credit
nude pics,
the photo?
galleries, and more at Babepedia? I'm just looking at Google Images.
Oh my god!
Do you want? Are we looking like how? Uncensored.com. There's some on Reddit. Oh, okay. Here's one on Reddit. That's a site I feel moderately safe using. From 1989, and she's wearing a little romper. I'll just send it to you.
Okay. Oh yeah, very nice. But see, that's Playboy. Playboy was like a step, I guess, below like a lingerie catalog. It's like, what if they're in their underwear and silky pajamas, but also we like open it? I feel like it was like kind of more tasteful, I guess. I feel like, I don't know.
And then where does Sports Illustrated fit into this whole?
That is normally a sports magazine, except for once a year when it's the swimsuit edition.
Oh,
and that is very highbrow, tasteful.
Okay.
Yeah, that is illustrious, you would say.
Okay. And then the rest of the time, they actually talk about sports?
Yeah. It's like a sports magazine with like men on the cover.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I just feel like
there's a lot of naked pictures of this woman on the internet.
Good for her.
I don't think they're all from that one. I don't think they're all from that one.
Consensual.
They're clearly consensual.
Okay. Well, we don't know if it was like a weird, like, I'm a Hollywood man, come take pictures and I'll get you a bit. I don't know. Who knows? Here's the thing. I feel like when she did it at that time, I'm just very impressed.
I'm not mad about it.
No. I'm definitely impressed that she did that in between the pilot and the season, like the actual show having a run, and it didn't ruin her career and they didn't remove her from the show. And I feel like, is that a credit to Hoff for being cool about it and being like, we don't care, where she's not going to like tarnish my name?
I don't think he was a producer until after this season.
But he had, okay. And that's when he fired Hobie.
Yeah.
One who wasn't in this episode at all.
Oh yeah, maybe he was.
Oh my god, I missed him. Oh yeah, he was at his mom's probably.
Yeah. This
is another episode that takes place. You think in one day? I think it's a couple days, but it feels like one.
Yeah, it's got to be a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the episode. But to be clear, everyone take as many nude photos as you possibly can.
Yeah.
All the time, because I wish I was as hot as the first time I thought I was ugly. You know what I mean? Just keep them.
Oh, no, I think about this all the time. I found, it's sitting right here on my bookshelf, a picture of me in 8th grade when I thought I was so heinous and fat. I look at it, I look like all my friends did. Exactly the same. I was totally average, like was not any bigger or any smaller than all of my girlfriends who I thought were so beautiful. And like, it's so sad to me that I had such horrible body dysmorphia.
Yeah. Okay, so
anyway, keep it as a reminder. Yeah.
Nicole and I take nudes every day after we record this podcast.
I've never taken a nude in my entire life.
You join our Patreon.
Our Patreon is all nudes, but none of them are of us. It's all Erika Eleniak's. No.
With us fully clothed, photoshopped in around her.
Yeah. Holding the side of her little lingerie, her little teddy. We're just like holding the strings of it to the side, like we're little, and we're photoshopped down to a small size, like she's Cinderella and we're the mice.
Yes.
Cute.
Now we have to make that. Good job.
Yeah, I will. I could do that.
Yeah, okay. So we get into this episode. Hobie's not in it. What I did find was in it was my boy Parker's business shorts. I was so excited because I've been trying to make business shorts happen for years. And he wasn't quite pulling it off, but like the effort was there and I was really I was appreciative.
Is it is it athleisure? What's like a business casual version of that? Because that's what he was wearing. He was wearing the pandemic uniform of 2020, which is
Yeah.
party on the bottom, business up top. I liked it. Although his hair
I
in this
loved it.
episode looked like a pinwheel. Like the front looks like it's going to spin off his head at any moment.
I
just
wondered
have
if
to
you were
note
gonna
that.
have hair thoughts this episode.
Yeah, of course.
Any other hair related remarks you want to get off your chest?
That was the number one, and it honestly
Not the mullet?
Oh! I thought we were just talking about Parker Stevenson. Stevenson. Okay. The guy. Can we just talk about this man? Because he's,
Yeah.
I guess, like he's in the main storyline of this episode.
Yes. His name is Jimmy.
His name is Jimmy. He does like, I wrote this. What in the white woman Wiccan mulleted hell is this? Because
Whoa. Which part?
the very beginning, when there's like a
yeah.
seance with the surfboard, and it's like the craft meets meets like some kind of like surf beach bingo or whatever, meets
Nailed
like
it.
an 80s villain. And it was just like, this is so upsetting. And also, do you know who his friend is in that?
Just assume I don't.
Bitch,
Who was it?
No, because proceed with this.
I did think the one. You committed to 10 episodes at least. I did see a recognizable looking guy over his shoulder, and I thought about Googling it, and then I was like, Nicole, get it.
No, this man had lines.
Oh, who was it?
Okay, it was David Spade.
Shut up.
Yeah. A year before he would be on SNL. So this is like right before he blows up. But I immediately was going to DM him on Instagram because I wanted to be like, holy shit, you're in this episode of Baywatch. We have a podcast. I need a comment from you. But then I'm like, he'll never see this or respond to it. So I didn't.
You could have sent it. He wouldn't have, if he never saw it, there would have been no harm done. What if David Spade was here right now?
I know. Well, I don't know. I just thought, oh, it'll sit in like some purgatory or some assistant will see it and laugh at me. I know. I should have just done it. But it was delightful nonetheless. And his role was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. And I thought, of course he's playing, this is why I wanted to talk to him, because of course he's playing a virgin surfer. And it feels like, do you know the movie Tommy Boy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay, we can like agree on that. It feels like this is like if I were to write fan fiction, he's his character Richard from Tommy Boy, but it's like 2 years before he moves back to Sandusky. It's like he got out of Sandusky, he moved to LA. He's like, those fucking meatheads back in Ohio. I don't want to live there. I'm going to go like make it out in Los Angeles. But then he comes here, he fails, and he has to move back. And then he starts working at Callahan Auto. And then he, it's the movie Tommy.
Seamless.
Tommy Boy. Yeah. But, and then that was it. He was just in it for like a few moments, but.
Yeah. I wonder if he even remembers, because I feel like when you do that many gigs, you can't keep all of them in your active memory.
But it had to have been like maybe his first. So I feel like it would be memorable because it was before SNL. But who knows? Yeah. Who's to say? Maybe I'll just DM him and be like, you were on Baywatch. What? I mean, I could look on IMDb. I can just see when it was.
Like when the episode aired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see like when in his career it was. But also he has liked one of my posts before because I saw him do stand up and I posted about it and he or an assistant liked it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I mean, we are like loose friends,
I wonder
acquaintances.
I wonder if he wants to pose nude with us after this.
I think he'd be in it fully clothed if we were nude. Maybe.
For the ritual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the mullet. It's a good one. Perfectly 1989. I had
So
no
that
qualms.
that was an acceptable haircut, or at the time that was still like a bad boy, like
Yeah.
uncool haircut, right?
Yeah, that was my thought. I kind of want to every episode there's like so many tropes at play that are like signaling who's the bad person. Like first it was the smoking, then it was the Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's an episode somewhere. Then what? I don't remember the last one.
We've only done.
No, this is our fourth. There's
Yeah,
3.
we've only done 4 episodes. We should be able to remember them.
Yeah.
The last episode was so it wasn't the series.
Oh, lawyering. The bad guy.
Lawyering.
Did anything bad happen? Yeah.
Yeah, kidnapped kid. A guy kidnapped a kid.
Oh yeah, the kids went under. Oh, the bad kid. He's like,
yes.
I don't know what he's the bad kid because he's like, let's break the rules. But that's not a trope. That's just what bad kids do. And then, this next one is mullet. So, and switchblade at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, full of tropes. Really fun.
He really escalates that fight, and I found it interesting because Eddie is like 5'3". And in two separate scenes in this episode, he bullies that guy. It's not even the ones where he's fighting them. Because, okay, you can get the upper hand with a good punch, but at one point he has him up against the wall of the elevator. And he's like, don't you be screwing around. And it was difficult to believe that this guy who has assaulted him numerous times wouldn't just be like, stop.
Yeah. But also, is Eddie like fucking Rocky Balboa from Philly? Is that like the parallel they're drawing in this episode? It's like,
is it
like, I don't know, because he's like a fighter. He boxes and has a whole fucking montage. It's just missing the steps.
I'm desperate to talk about the montage. What I loved most about the montage was that it was a flashback montage that flashed back to scenes from this episode.
Yeah. And also unrelated scenes of the water and the beach and like seagulls and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, the movie Clerks?
Yeah, but I don't know it very well.
Oh, I guess you don't know everything about pop culture, do you?
Oh, I know it's Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith. Yeah.
So there's the film Clerks, old film, and then they made Clerks 2 many years later. And then they made an animated version of Clerks. And this is where most people fall off. Nobody knows about this TV series except for me and my friend group in high school, which is presumably why it was canceled after like 1, maybe 2 seasons. But my favorite bit from the animated TV show Clerks, which I don't know how well it's aged, but I do remember it being hilarious when I was 13. So the second episode of the TV show is a flashback episode that only flashes back to the first episode. And it's terrific. And it flashes back to the same scene in the first episode mostly, like 10 times. And it's just hilarious. And so then this happened and it reminded me a lot of that. It's just like peak comedy. Like so this probably around not far from the same time. No, I guess it would be later. It would be 10 years later.
Oh.
When I was 13.
Yeah.
Because I was 3 when this came out.
Oh. Have you ever seen the movie Dogma?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
This is my area of pop culture where and it says a lot about me. There's another podcast that I listen to that is a comedy podcast. Is really funny, but they're playing some like small town burnouts who haven't really grown up and they're obsessed with Boondock Saints. And it's an apt joke because me and my burnout friends were obsessed with Boondock Saints, watched it so many times. So.
I like that I'm triangulating each episode. I'm triangulating your pop culture knowledge and your passions.
Pop culture. Hey man, you want to talk about C-level podcast celebrities? I'm available. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of just the parts of pop culture that no one cares about at all.
I love that. Maybe that's the spinoff.
Girl
You'll
loves
have
an
to host it with
underdog.
someone else, but
Yes. Well, there was a couple of things that I wanted to look up that I didn't, that I do think are worth looking up.
Okay.
So one of them was the expression "surfs up."
Mm,
Is that a real expression? What does that
yeah,
mean? What does it mean? What does it mean when the surf is up?
it's like rockin'. It's ready to rip.
It just means it's rocking. It's not like an official, oh yeah, the conditions of the waves are good.
Yeah, all the surfers, let's get out there.
Interesting. Do people say surfs up?
I don't think anymore. It's
A
kind of
phrase
out
used in
of
surfing when a nearby wave is passing. Wait, have you ever gone surfing?
yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you guys just get like booted off the beach at a point? Because I've seen lots of surfers and I've never seen that happen.
Uh, First of all, I should clarify. I've been once.
Oh yeah, you did oversell that.
Never say I don't have confidence. Yeah, I've been once, I think. It was after high school. I went on like a trip to Newport Beach and we rented a house with like some girlfriends and we all did a group surf lesson. It was really fun.
Okay.
But yeah, there's different flags you have to watch out for at the beach. And so when that comes up, people have to get out of the water. The black dot, I think, means, or there's like tide flags and stuff. So like you have to
Yeah.
know what to look out for so you know where you could be.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I live on one of the Great Lakes and we have like different flags that tell you whether the water is too polluted to swim or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it like that? Um but okay, so the other thing I wanted to look up was the black ball. So because that's one of the flags. It's a yellow flag with a black dot on it, right? But everyone calls it the black ball. And I
Oh.
wondered if that's where the expression black ball comes from, but I'm hearing it's not.
Oh.
Our producer's
Oh.
saying no.
Like you're blackballing someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently where that actually comes from is the secret ballots they used to do in like Greco-Roman times or something, and they'd use like a black or white stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
And then you're saying I don't want that
that's
person
what I'm
to
hearing.
win?
Yeah. Okay. The other thing that and I know sometimes I get caught on these really small details, but oh gosh, that's what we're here for.
This is what I love.
What's her name? The wife? What's his
Mrs.
name in the show?
Pomeroy.
Yeah, Mrs.
Gina?
Pomeroy.
Yeah, yeah.
Her struggling with the walk. She
Of
couldn't get her arms around it. She was like, she's fighting this thing. She's just sauteing vegetables. She's making a stir fry. It's one of the easiest foods you can cook. Like
yeah.
college kids eat it. She's making a stir fry. And she's struggling so hard that when he comes he comes into the elevator, the Jimmy guy, she goes like, "Oh, sorry, it's my first time using a wok." She's really overwhelmed. Guys, it's just a round pan.
It's a round pan that was definitely used before. It was seasoned. That wok had already been seasoned. So maybe
Maybe it's
Craig's the
his.
wok. Yeah, maybe Craig does all the woking.
Craig, thank you.
She's using 3 utensils. She's using like 2 chopsticks and like a spatula thing. It
Yeah.
was, and yeah, she has the phone. I love that trope of the 80s and 90s where the woman is so busy with doing a lot of things, she's on the phone and it's like in the crook of her neck. I miss that. You can't do that with an iPhone. It'll hang up on someone.
You could probably buy an attachment to put your iPhone in if you really want to recreate that.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Wait, I do want to say I am obsessed with the dynamic of Eddie living with the Pomeroys.
Yes.
It's like a sitcom within a drama when it in a really fun way.
Well, at one point he knocks on the inside of his own bedroom door and they open it and he comes into the main house, but like does he have to knock to get out of his room every time?
No, he has a separate outside entrance. That was one of the selling points when they were touring the
You're
room
kidding
full of
me.
boxes. No, he has like a separate entrance, so they never have to see each other.
Their storage room has a separate entrance.
Yeah, and they made it a storage room. What in the?
With cathedral windows and a water view.
It's insane. Well, if you stand up on the
Still too nice for a storage room. I'd take it.
Yeah. Any room with windows. Don't waste that. And now
Yeah.
Craig's office is just under the
Craig's
stairs behind. Yeah, no,
and
in the
she's an
middle.
artist, so they're both home all day.
Yeah, I can't. I know what that's like, and at least we have separate rooms. That's just one big loft room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oof, oof. But yeah, I do love that dynamic, and it was kind of funny and cute to see that interaction. But then because now he's living there, he brings the riffraff there.
But I don't think he told Jimmy where he lived. I think that was a
No,
lie.
true, true. But Jimmy wouldn't be there if he didn't live there. You know what I mean? And then he
Well,
didn't
that's a
explain
little
it.
victim blamey.
Fair.
Yeah, he didn't explain it. Classic, not just explaining the simple thing that would make all of this not a
Yeah.
problem.
It
Yeah.
it was that the
But
whole
he doesn't want
episode.
them to know that he's a bad boy because he has a good boy haircut.
But he wasn't a bad boy. That was the whole thing is like when he explains the story finally, he was like had
Yeah.
no idea what was going on.
That's true. I tried to stop someone from shooting a convenience store clerk.
Yeah.
Successful and succeeded.
I was very shocked and surprised when my friend, when we were buying chips, pulled a gun out and was going to shoot a convenience store person. And I tried to tell him not to.
Yeah.
And he got mad at me. It's like,
Yeah.
you look good in this story.
And he didn't go to jail or juvie.
No.
So they obviously, it's substantiated.
Believed. Yeah.
No, this Jimmy kid is bad. And the scene where he takes him down when he's trying to rescue someone from drowning was stunning because, first of all, the beach is once again packed. So there's nothing but witnesses. There's people everywhere. And you're interfering with a person being rescued from drowning. So that's morally reprehensible.
Yeah.
But really just taking this guy down, that's so like unhinged. You're going to get in trouble. There's so many witnesses. And then then when they were talking about it afterwards, they're like, well, that's not what Shawnee says happened. And I'm like, her or the other 60 people that saw it.
I know. I just wrote like, bystanders? Hello? Like, what? No one's jumping in because the guy had a mullet. He's a bad guy. They don't know.
If I saw someone taking down a lifeguard, I would call the police immediately, which I suppose
would take a while. And the person's still going to drown.
Yes,
Also,
yeah.
The guy with I think in that scene, I made the comment, Jimmy is almost doing a Jim Carrey impression.
Yeah.
And then the whole rest of it, I'm like, this 2-bit Jim Carrey knockoff. I hate this guy.
A fair observation.
It was like, he was like one step, not like Ace Ventura Jim Carrey, although that is obviously peak, very heightened Jim Carrey, but like more like Liar Liar. A little more, this guy's maybe normal. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't. He seemed like a mullet wearing freak to me the whole time.
No. I mean on the scale of Jim Carrey.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ace Ventura, he's like an unhinged character, and every word he says is wild and like really characterized. But then there's other movies he's done where it's like a little toned down, and it felt like that.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
One thing I will say in Jimmy's defense is that I actually really liked his fashion sense pretty much throughout. Some
What
of it was
wearing?
big swings. In the beginning, I think he's wearing some kind of like patchwork, very brightly colored shirt. But the outfit that I liked the most, he was wearing a really nice sweater at one point that had like, it looked like maybe it was movie film, like a spool, like, you know what I mean? If you took a movie film off the reel, was like a knit sweater with that down the arms. And then he was wearing that black tie-dye shirt, but with the green, bright green. I'll find screenshots of all these for the Instagram. So it was like lime green. How do I describe it? It was like the base color was lime green and the tie-dye was black. But then also in the base color, it looked like there was also like a black silhouette image that had then also been tie-dyed over. It was a really nice shirt that I would like to wear.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like, where are these kids sleeping? Where are they living? What's going on with them? When he brought his whole posse here, do they just live there now?
Yeah, and how old is everyone?
How old is everyone?
Like, if they got in trouble when they were 16 and that guy went to jail for 3 years, that's only
Yes.
19, but they're not
No.
19.
I was trying to figure out if this was immediately after and he just got out, but I think it's definitely later because when they look him up, he's wanted for murder. So he's
Oh,
had
yeah.
time to murder another person.
Yes, and some other crimes that they listed.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think it's later. And the odds they just run into each other when they're not even from LA. And there's a lot of coastline.
Yeah. Trying
And
to think if I ever
who
ran into
gives
anyone in New
him
York.
wait, you trying to think if you ever run into anybody anywhere?
Yeah, like in New York. I lived in New York, and it's like I feel like I don't know. I must have run into someone at some point that I knew from home. But
I
probably
mean, I
not if I
guess,
don't
but
remember.
still pretty bad luck for our boy.
Yeah, that's bad luck, yeah. I love that you notice all the outfits. I like that there's an outfit of the episode every
Yeah.
week. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really like that. It's a fun, and there's one fashion moment I noted
Which
in
one?
my whole, yeah. It's when fucking Trevor went full cummerbund on that boat.
Yes.
And
He's
I
wearing a
went
full tux. And I was thinking that too. I'm like, you'll know if it's time to wear a tux. You will get
Yeah.
explicit tux
No,
related directions.
you don't know if you're the help and you're being invited to some like fancy. I feel like
No, but I
he
mean,
doesn't know he's trying hard.
but I see, but still, but I mean, a tux, when you were wearing a tux, it's black tie or white tie. And I think he was wearing white tie.
I know.
So is that a step up from black tie?
Oh.
I think white tie is
I think
fancier.
I think it's a like offshoot of black tie. Like a white party?
I don't think that's what people are referring to when they say white tie.
Like where everybody shows up in all white?
No, but I think white tie is its own thing.
And you're not allowed to wear black?
No, I think you are. I think it just means something.
Like a ball gown?
I don't know if it's literal. Yes. White tie, also called full evening dress, is the most formal evening Western dress code. For men, it consists of a black tail coat worn over a white dress shirt with a starched or peak bib, which I think might have been that boop boop what he was wearing.
Oh, yeah.
A white peak waistcoat and a white bow tie worn around a standing wing collar.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's like Titanic shit. I don't think anyone dresses like that ever.
Well,
anymore.
I just think that regardless of how fancy the yacht was, he was overdressed.
He was overdressed. Yeah.
Also,
and that was on purpose to like show that he's like embarrassing himself.
For white tie, women would wear a full-length ball or evening gown with evening gloves and tiaras, jewelry, and a small handbag.
Holy shit. Okay, I want to go to one of these parties.
It's the fanciest thing you can do.
I want to go to one.
I don't know how many white tie parties there are. I think it would mostly be a wedding.
You'd have to throw it. No, I don't want to go to someone's wedding dressed like that. I don't want to spend a bunch of money to go to someone else's thing. I want to throw like a fucking party. And it's like we all wear. I've never worn a ball gown. How fun.
Oh, do you want to wear a ball gown or a white tie tux?
White tie ball gown. No, I want to wear a white tie ball gown.
You just want to throw
with a tiara. Yeah, I want to throw a ball. Yeah.
The Baywatcher's ball.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh, the Baywatcher's ball.
It doesn't make any sense, but we should do it.
Oh my God. And also
on a yacht.
On a yacht. And also it's the Baywatcher's ball, and also there's drag queens that come and perform. Because it's like also a drag ball in that way. And we just have like a party, and it's so fun.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's the event. Do you have a red carpet for that? Or is it a different color?
I don't think that's part of the dress code.
Okay.
So I think it's discretionary.
Cool.
I was trying to think do you think we could get a Hasselhoff drag king?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's a famous drag king that lives in my neighborhood. So I would just I see them all the time, and I would just ask them.
Mm-hmm.
I bet
you sure you wouldn't just think about it and then not do it?
No, I'd do that. Yeah.
Next segment. David Spade is here.
Oh my god. David fucking Spade.
Um, okay, on that yacht, Trevor also, when he takes off his clothes very slowly,
Yeah.
they flash back to him. He's still on his pants, still working. Which I guess, honestly, complicated outfit to take off. Actually, I'm gonna
Lots
eat
of
those words.
little buttons.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like taking off his cufflinks. He's like working through it,
Yeah.
and then he gets down to his silk boxers, and I just wanted to talk about it because men don't wear boxers anymore, and good riddance. But the nostalgia of my like high school boyfriend's boxers and thinking that those were sexy. And then men abruptly changed. Either that or I moved and the men in my new city had different underwear preferences, but no one ever went back to boxers. I haven't seen boxers in 20 years.
No, I think it's all boxer briefs now.
Yeah.
Because the boxers aren't supportive.
I can't imagine. I can't
No.
imagine having that body part. I was thinking when I was watching this, I was wishing we had a male guest on so that I could ask them because it just seems wildly impractical. I don't understand how they were ever a thing.
No, yeah, I don't. And even like silk ones, especially, I just feel like, I don't know, that seems like hot or is silk not? No, yeah, it would be wet all the time. I don't know. I don't, I don't, yeah, it's weird. But silk boxers,
I
I do
never
feel
want to
like
hear about hot, wet boxers.
silk boxers, great to sleep in.
Oh, for us, you mean? For
For
anyone?
anyone, I feel like, because you're sleeping, how much support do you
Oh.
need?
Well, I don't
Don't
like
you
a
think?
seam. I don't like a seam
Oh,
there
but it would be
in my
thin, wouldn't
lady
it?
parts.
Oh, well, I would wear underwear under it.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I wear
then,
little
because I
shorts
don't
when I
like a
sleep
seam in my
sometimes.
later parts either.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just like
Y
night shorts, you know what I
you
mean?
need a gusset.
Yeah, you need something, you need a you need a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah. See, maybe you be our pop culture host and I be our fashion host.
Yeah, oh, you're definitely our fashion host. I know nothing about fashion, and I follow it in the way that it's in pop culture, but I
Yeah.
don't like, I didn't even notice he was in silk boxers. I just remembered him in shorts, and I don't know what the shorts
He
were.
was also wearing nice swim shorts at one point.
Can we also talk about, okay, this is where I need to tell you, the woman that he's dating is the actor Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order SVU. She's been on it for like 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she is also the daughter of Jane Mansfield, who was a famous Hollywood actress in like the 40s or whatever, like when, or 50s, whenever the height of Hollywood was. Like Marilyn Monroe time period. And yeah, she was in this. She was the little rich girl who is like
Yeah.
and I immediately saw her and went, "Oh my god." And of course her acting is so good in this, and I'm like, "Of course it is, because she is a good actor."
Yeah.
But I did want to point out, this is the other fashion thing I noticed. Her pearl coat, like
Yes.
her pearl blazer,
Stole?
hideous. Yeah, hated it.
Yeah.
It looked like a prop almost, where it's like, this person's very like waspy and rich,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And then it almost drowns her. And we talked
Yeah.
about this recently. We talked about how if you're in the water, if you're in a coat of some kind or some,
Yeah.
you got to take off your garments because they'll absorb the water and they'll take you down.
Yeah.
And he starts screaming to her to take it off, and she's not,
And kick off her boots.
and kick off her
Yeah,
boots, and she
and
tries.
he's slowly undressing, and everyone else is just chilling. It was another
Yeah.
example of total underreaction. Like, her dad is there, and he's like, "Oh, no." Waiting,
Swim, honey. Yeah.
waiting, not getting a life preserver,
Yeah.
not running down to the lower deck so that you can be there to pull her up once he jumps in and gets her, not
Yeah.
throwing a rope, not taking any action of any kind. Everyone just
No.
stands there and he yells at them to get a life preserver, and hopefully someone is doing that. But like, I would just again, the utter inaction of everyone involved in a crisis except
We
for the
never know.
hero.
Yeah. We never know if they get a life preserver or whatever. I mean, she survives, but barely.
Yeah,
He had to
barely.
go down a couple times to find her.
Yes, that's fucked up.
That's scary. Yeah, that's traumatic.
So scary. She was
Yeah.
real dumb though when she jumped off that boat to, I guess, show her dad that her boyfriend's a good lifeguard.
Yeah, I get, or to show her dad like she can live her own life and make her own
Drown.
choices. But it's like, if daddy is in control of your trust fund, no, you can't.
Yeah. Well, she does decide she's gonna move to New York to do modeling, which you can't do in LA, I guess, and break up with him.
Yeah. Which I didn't know they were like a full item. I thought it was just he's always dating everyone, so
Because in the previous episode there was like an Australian chick or something
right.
that somebody else was hitting on, and then they were
Eddie.
together.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Eddie was hitting. Oh, right. But we debated whether or not they were actually together or not in that one. So I guess it would be fair to say that our virgin converter is dating multiple people, I guess.
He's out there working hard. He's out making conversions and yeah, he's a real hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she falls off, she almost drowns, and then later she's like sleep
Yeah.
drowning.
Yeah, that's a real thing, which I knew from there was like a show on HBO and that was a storyline that like it drove two people to get divorced because they lost a son. That
To
like
sleep drowning?
mhm. It's
After he had
secondary
almost
drowning.
drowned?
Yeah, like it's a
Whoa.
thing that happens. And yeah, it's scary. So I guess this is also like the whole vibe of this episode with like the juvie kids and the secondary drowning felt like a very special episode of like just any sort of TV show where it's like the after school special. It had that vibes for me the whole time because it's like, oh, we're learning lessons
Mhm.
about life or something.
Yeah, we learned that I guess private clubs don't make you take a test or like be certified to be a lifeguard.
Right. Which is insane, but
Yeah.
makes sense because he doesn't take it seriously. But now he wants to, it looks like.
Yeah. Now he wants to take it seriously, so after presumably spending all of his money on a tux rental, he goes and steals a handbook from Baywatch.
Oh, you think he rented it?
You think he had it?
I assumed, but yeah, like why would he have that? Unless it was like his
It's
prom
Trevor.
tux.
Yeah. He only owns swim shorts and one white tails tux.
Yeah. Wait, what? What? He would have to try and return it, but I don't think they would have charged him too. So he's out. So he owns it now.
Well, he didn't
He.
jump in it. He took it off.
Oh yeah, good for him.
Yeah. He was getting his deposit back. He was
Oh
like,
yeah,
not me.
that's
Not
why.
on
But
a
also,
lifeguard salary.
yeah, he's like, I can't pay for this. I'm gonna have to ask for money from her for this.
Yeah.
I'll just take it off.
I'll just
Yeah.
take that strand of pearls.
Right? Meanwhile, her pearl jacket costs like $80,000.
And it sank into the ocean.
It sank into where it originated. Oh, full circle.
Yeah, that's nice.
Ah.
Okay, the part we haven't talked about yet is the end scene with where the lifeguard tower, where this kid. So again, I mean, he's not a kid; he's a grown ass adult who goddamn knows better.
Yeah.
Jimmy throws Molotov cocktails.
Oh, sorry. A Molotov cocktail?
That was good. Okay, that was good. I was braced because I thought maybe I wasn't supposed to say that for some reason. Now maybe maybe that term had been canceled, but you took it in an excellent direction.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I don't know either.
We can look it up after.
That's just always my assumption that I'm about to be canceled for something I just said. You got to be ever vigilant. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
You never know. Okay, so they throw these bottles full of alcohol with a flame at the lifeguard tower. So, okay, a couple of things I need to address. One,
Yeah.
the beach deserted.
It's never been so empty.
So, is this a beach where everybody goes and hangs out because they don't have air conditioning in their houses and it's too hot and they have to be on the beach, but the second the lifeguards go off duty, they scatter?
Yeah, they're like, oh, the lifeguards. Maybe what we're not seeing on the show is when they cruise up and down the street and they go, "We're closing in 5 minutes. Everyone, please make your way to the parking lot," like they do at like
Yeah.
Walmart or whatever. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, somehow no one's there. It's like, oh, I
No.
guess they'll close up. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone is gone. It's completely deserted, which is good news because otherwise everyone would have seen him burning down the lifeguard tower.
Oh,
And another thing I enjoyed from the scene was there was a brief moment where Eddie and Shawnee. I'm really bad with names. This is why I don't know who celebrities are. I can barely remember the names I've said multiple times in this hour. Shawnee and Eddie are in there, and flames lick up the wall panel between the window board and the window where
Yeah.
they are before any of the fire gets thrown.
I noticed that too in editing. It was like a continuity error.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, what?" I had to go back and I go,
Me
"Oh,
too, me too.
yeah, yeah."
You got
You
that, you
knew it was
figured.
coming, but
Did you find that 30-second button on your remote? It's a lifesaver.
yeah. No, I have a little like a little 10. Well, I
Yeah.
was watching it on my laptop and it's like a
Oh.
10 and I
Yeah,
go,
yeah, okay.
10. Yeah. Oh,
I like to go back a lot. The other thing that happened continuity error-wise, which is not the episode's fault, but my closed captioning was just not translating some of the words properly, and but it was
oh.
stupid words that weren't misheard. For instance, at one point, somebody calls somebody else grandpa. No, they call him pops, but the closed captioning said grandpa. And so there were a bunch of things like that. One time somebody says like buddy, and closed captioning said pal.
Oh,
And I'm like, why are you
what?
doing this?
What? It
Yeah.
feels like some weird conspiracy or something.
Yeah, it's
Ew.
discriminatory, I guess, against.
Yeah. It's like also it's like taking creative license in the
Yes.
subtitling.
You
It's
can
like,
paraphrase.
yeah, you could just say what it says. That's weird.
It
Oh
was
my
weird.
god. Cuz who got called a grandpa?
I don't remember.
I feel like it was Eddie for some reason.
Yeah, but
But why? That can't be right.
it feels right, though.
Yeah, it feels right. I think because he was being like a Debbie
Because he's not
Downer.
fun? Yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't like a bad boy anymore. So it's like, okay, grandpa.
Yeah.
It's like, now that I know the color of your shorts, you can't hide, pal.
Yeah. And
So dumb.
he can't because somehow this guy has his name and
Yeah.
address down to the unit number and his phone number and
Yeah.
knows everything about him.
Yeah.
So he lights the thing on fire, and they like manage to bust out. They do some quick thinking in there. They're covering themselves, their jackets in water, so they could
Yeah.
bust through the door once it's burned enough that it's flexible. I thought that was brilliant. And
Yeah.
then Hoff and Craig or somebody show up and are grabbing them as it's burning down. And I think, is that a shot from the opening song?
Oh, I don't
I think it
know.
is, because there's a very
Oh,
dramatic moment where Shawnee and Eddie are in the middle and like Hoff's dragging one of them and like they're all stumbling out of this burning tower together.
okay. This is reminding me we need to address something that I messed up in the last episode, and also that is just a known thing, which is that these episodes have been remastered now.
Yes.
So, like, there's things about them that are different. Like,
Mhm.
maybe they put that scene in the opening sequence now for some reason because it's like a big scene from an early episode or something. But also, I made the mistake of saying that the song was performed, the theme song was performed by the lead singer of Chicago, and also Bonnie Raitt was on guitar. But that was the original theme song. So
Oh.
there was a theme song in the very first episodes or whatever. Okay, so the original NBC theme was called Save Me. It was a song called Save Me,
Makes sense.
performed by Peter Cetera, who's of the band Chicago, and Bonnie Raitt on guitar, and some man named Richard Sturban, who's a singer for the Oak Ridge Boys, as one of the background vocalists. And then from the second season onwards, after syndication, the theme I'm Always Here by Jimmy Jamison, that's the one we know and love now, was used to save costs on royalties and is the most popular theme for the series.
How come it saved costs on royalties?
He wasn't as famous.
Is that
Like,
how royalties work? I thought you had to
yeah.
pay a fixed price every time it plays regardless.
Well, if you did, because there was like 3 famous people on the
that's it.
first one, I think you're having to pay royalties to like multiple people, multiple producers, multiple whatever. So if they went and found someone less famous and like more stripped down, yeah. So it's not. It still slaps and it's still good, but it's not the song. I don't even know if you can find that song. I've looked.
We're gonna find it.
We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it. But I did need to clear that up because I misread that, and so.
I appreciate that. I took your word for it. But in one of the episodes, I said somebody should put a bathing suit on Craig when he was wearing a bathing suit. I meant a Band-Aid. And then when I listened back to it, I got mad at you for not correcting me.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I was like, she was right there.
No, that happens. Listen, it's like I knew what you were saying. You know what
We're
I
doing
mean?
our best, but he was wearing a bathing suit.
I know, but I knew what you meant, and so my brain didn't hear it. It's
I'm just
like
saying we all make mistakes.
we all make mistakes. Okay, thank you.
And so then they bust out of that thing, and the cop guy whose name I forget, I feel like it might be Ellerby, though,
Yeah,
either his real
yeah,
name or his character's name. He's been chasing Jimmy around on an RV, an ATV,
yeah.
not an RV, an ATV, and I guess just in circles because they're still right there. And so Eddie grabs him, starts pummeling him and fighting him, and I'm like, and it goes on so long, and I'm like, why isn't the cop interrupting this fight? And then it pans up, and the cop's just standing there watching it, like, yeah,
Yeah.
punch him on the beach.
Because he heard his story. He was like, I'll look the other way or whatever.
He
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
looking
yeah.
the other way.
No, but you know what I mean. He's like, I don't need to intervene.
Yeah, yeah.
It was,
So
yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was a good one. They're all good. These are all good episodes.
I also, one quick thing, it was like barely in this episode. But Hoff was like not a main part of this episode, but he did have his own storyline about having to take the Lieutenant Pop quiz.
Oh yeah,
And it wasn't really important or that interesting. And he thinks it's a physical the whole time, and he
yeah,
shows up and it's a like a calculus test of one
yeah,
question. He gets 10 minutes. All the lieutenant lifeguards fail.
yeah. Because they don't know calculus. Because
They
as we
don't.
revealed in the previous episode, the qualifications are that you are 18 and can swim,
Yeah. And that's and you've been a lifeguard for
and
3
that you've
years, I
ever
think.
been a lifeguard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny. He wasn't really in this episode. He just kind of popped in a few times, and
Why does that happen on TV shows like this? So they just are they giving us a break or are they giving them a break?
yeah, both, I think. Like I think like it's like what we talked about with Hobie, like why he's not in every episode, or like
Right.
he's not the one getting into danger in every episode, is because
Yeah.
I think at some point you'd be like, how is this one kid getting into this much trouble or danger or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
Like it would start to be, it'd feel too cloying or something. So I think, yeah, Hoff got a break. Also, it's an ensemble show. Like
That's
now we
true.
get to see all the other people that work there, and we get to learn about them, and we want to.
Yeah.
And I think they're setting up a romance between Eddie and Shawnee,
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
that was
Definitely
fun.
heading there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did read that Hasselhoff didn't want to audition for this for
Yeah.
Baywatch.
That makes
And
sense. He
and
was a big star.
he told us, well, was he a big star already?
TV on
Oh,
Night
because
Rider.
he'd
He had a
had
very
Knight Rider.
successful.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, because I was gonna remark on that, like, sometimes with famous people, it's so interesting because I'll think like, "Oh, man, I've been so out of the loop because 'cause I'm not good at pop culture. I didn't
Yeah.
even know who so and so was until 5 years ago." But then you have to realize that, like, because no one did. They weren't famous yet,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? It's so
Yeah.
yeah. So I gotta remind myself that sometimes people weren't always famous, but I guess he already was. But for whatever reason, he didn't wanna do Baywatch, and
He
his
didn't want to do
agent
it, or he didn't want to audition.
he didn't wanna audition or go to the call or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he was already
Okay.
offer only, but regardless, his agent signed him up for it anyway. And
Whoa.
they had a disagreement, but he doesn't regret it because obviously
Yeah.
after the first season when he literally saved it, he'd gotten on board.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably so glad he did it, because
Yeah,
truly this is his opus. He
yeah,
Anything he's ever done before or since is not ever going to be Baywatch. So, yeah. Hmm. And I would have said more David Spade for this episode.
yeah.
Thank you very much. He was barely in it, and that made me bummed, because once I saw him, and I also have to say, watching it on Amazon Prime, this is just a heads up to anyone watching it on there. There's like trivia that comes up, kind of like pop-up video.
Oh,
So like it's like dun dun, like the theme song's ramping up. I've moved my mouse over the window and it says trivia. David Spade plays BJ in this episode. And I go, "What? Oh, come on."
oh.
Like it spoiled it for me.
Well,
And then
I don't. Yeah, I get it. I guess
I
I
wanted to
just
be
feel like
surprised and delighted.
okay, you're right. But I
Yeah.
would have missed it entirely because mine doesn't do that.
Okay.
Because I'm not
But you
watching it
didn't
on Amazon.
recognize him.
No.
But
But
it
I
didn't
would
tell
have
me
if
that.
it popped up and said, "This is David Spade."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it didn't ruin Mariska Hargitay for me, and that was a surprise and a delight. And
Yeah.
also, this was a star-studded episode because it had 2 big major TV people, actors in it.
David Spade and Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska Hargitay, yeah. Here's a joke. Eddie and what's his butt, the villain mullet, are
Jimmy.
from Jimmy. Eddie and Jimmy are both from Philly, and I said this episode had more beef than a Philly cheesesteak.
That's
Oh!
clever.
Thank you.
That's a good joke about Americana and your
Yeah.
foods.
My foods, yeah.
Your cultural
Not
foods.
my foods, but Philadelphia's
Your people's
foods.
foods.
Yeah, the people's foods of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
All right.
We have stuff to plug. We have social meds.
We have social medias. We have you could follow us on TikTok at Baywatch Podcast. You could follow us on Instagram at Baywatchers Podcast. Were you going to correct me?
No, I don't know what they are. My contribution was leading you into it.
Okay. We're Baywatchers Podcast on TikTok and we're Baywatchers Pod on Instagram.
Yes. You are our CMO, but good news. I received word from my my fractional CFO from my real grown-up company that I can put podcast expenses through that. She thinks it might help my public speaking career. So that was a big win for me.
Amazing. Yeah. Podcasting is public speaking.
Love it.
Yeah. Amazing. Follow us there.
Yeah. Good times. You can follow us there because I'm ZJ Hadley.
I'm Nicole Mackey.
This was Baywatchers.
And podcast?